The New England Patriots travel to Carolina to face the Panthers on Monday Night Football. Carolina's installed as a 3-point favorite on BETDAQ, 46.5, the total in this game. If it sounds a little unusual for the Patriots to be an underdog, that's because it is. Since 2007, New England has only been an underdog in 5 games. They've won 4 of those 5 games outright and have covered in all 5 games. So the Patriots, a very, very dangerous underdog. They've also been very good on Monday Night Football lately. 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 Monday night games. Coming off a bye heading into this game, their offense seemed to get going finally in the last game, hanging 55 points on the Pittsburgh Steelers. So some things working in New England's favor here. But Carolina, the hottest team in the NFL right now, they have won 5 straight. They've covered in all 5. They have what is probably the best defense in the NFL. They entered this week, were ranked second in the league in both yards allowed and points allowed. They also rank in the top 4 in both rushing defense and passing defense. So there's just no weakness to this Carolina defense. Now, the question we had about the Panthers heading into last week's game in San Francisco was, who have they beaten? They were 5-3 heading into last week, but of their 5 wins, they'd only beaten one team with as many as 3 victories. That was the St. Louis Rams. So they had not yet beaten a good team, but that changed last week when they went into San Francisco and beat the 49ers 10-9 in a defensive slugfest. So now the Panthers 6-3, as I said, they've won 5 straight games, and now they have a road victory against a good team to their credit. What are the questions about this Carolina team? The only one I can really find is the passing game. No doubt about it, Cam Newton has really struggled this season, really over the last couple of years. Ever since his breakout rookie year, Newton has been a little bit of a disappointment. The Panthers, one of only 5 NFL teams that average fewer than 200 pass yards per game, and Newton has had turnover issues. Even in last week's win against San Francisco, he was not good. So they've been winning games in spite of Newton. They've been winning it with their defense and with their running game. DeAngelo Williams has led that rushing attack this season, but Jonathan Stewart now back in the fold. So once again, a 2-headed backfield in Carolina. Panthers currently 10th in the NFL in rushing offense. If it weren't for some injuries along the offensive line, they might be a little bit better than that, but that line is banged up. The New England defense banged up as well. Defensive tackle Vince Wilfork, linebacker Gerard Mayo, probably the 2 best players in that front 7, will miss the remainder of the season. So be interesting to see if the Patriots can hold up against Carolina's rushing attack here, because we do expect Carolina to try to run the ball right down New England's throat. They've been very conservative this year with a good reason. As we said, Cam Newton has struggled and he's not surrounded by a whole lot in terms of playmakers of the wide receiver position. Steve Smith, still Carolina's best wide receiver, but he's 34 years old and the big plays are few and far between these days. Listen, this should be a very competitive game. I'm a little torn here. Early in the week I had a Carolina lean, but I have been coming around more and more to the New England side. It comes down to Tom Brady versus Cam Newton, and really, that's no choice at all. Brady, the superior player. However, Carolina does have a much, much better defense. I look at a total like 46.5 here, and I do have a lean towards under that total. I do expect New England to have a little bit of trouble moving the ball this season. They haven't quite been themselves on offense, as we know, even though, like I said, they did hang 55 points on the Pittsburgh Steelers in their last game. And I just don't think Carolina's offense is good enough to score a whole lot of points really against anybody unless their defense helps them out with some turnovers. So under 46.5 is a bet that I think deserves consideration here. And I also have a New England lean. I think now this line is 3. Again, it is 3 on BETDAQ. Carolina opened as a 2.5-point favorite, some sports books around the world. But now this line is 3. I think the Patriots are a value at 3. Wouldn't be surprised if this is a very close game, a game in which the points may come in handy. So do lean towards New England here and under 46.5.